Okay, I'm back for 3 more. Now, the first one, Goldenrod, I'm actually out of. Unfortunately, I love this herb. The Latin name for it is solidago. It's also called woundweed or blue mountain tea. The gender is female, the ruling element is air, and the planet is Venus. The magical properties, it's used to find treasures. I mean, you think of the rod, whenever you're out looking for treasures, the 2 rods that meet together or finding water or whatever. It's also good in money or wealth spells. And you can put it in your doorway as a protector. The medicinal properties, it's been known to treat kidney and bladder issues, coughs, asthma. It's an anti-inflammatory, an antiseptic, and a diuretic. In case y'all don't know what a diuretic is, it releases fluid from your body if you have fluid buildup. Mixed with echinacea for the treatment of cystitis and nephritis. Okay, y'all know what cystitis is, right? It's when you have a cyst that is growing and it's inflamed. Nephritis, it has everything to do with the kidney. If you have kidney inflammation, which is what it said earlier, it can be used, sorry to say this, it can be used as a douche for women because of its antifungal components. In other words, if you have a yeast infection, that would be about the only thing I'd use it for. It may help. If you have anything else, please don't have to make me tell you this. Go see your doctor. I mean, if something's wrong with your body long before anybody else does. So, take care of yourself. But anyway, it works good neck problems or any muscular problems. And it is not poisonous, of course. Okay. Now, the next 2 I have, but I don't bring them out. I just don't. I have several of these poisonous herbs that I just don't want to reveal. And I have my reasons for that. But this one is hemlock. It's also called poisonous parsley or warlock's weed. If you have a spell that calls for hemlock, you can actually use tobacco in its place. Because believe it or not, tobacco is one of the most poisonous herbs. Yes, it is. Look it up. I promise you, it is one of the most poisonous herbs on the face of this earth. The ruling element is water. The ruling planet is Saturn. And of course, the deity is Hecate. Hail Hecate. She loves her poisonous plants. Okay, now the magical properties on this, I mean, I could read to you what all I have written down, but it's normally used in astral travel, or you can purify your athame. You can use it in spells to cause impotence in men and paralyzing a situation. And at one time it was used in flying ointment. It's very magically powerful. It's also been used for protection and grounding, banishing, and arouse jealousy. Used for dark and baneful magic. Let me stress that, dark and baneful magic. Olive leaves can be added to bring a more peaceful end to enemies or hated ones. In other words, if you just want somebody to suffer, if you're doing a baneful spell, which if y'all don't know what baneful is, it means you're not wishing goodwill upon them. If you're doing that, but you don't really want them to die, you just want them to suffer and maybe pay for what they done to you or to someone you loved or whatever. Then you would add the olive leaves, which they're kind of hard to find in the United States. I mean, I'm sure you can get anything online, but a lot of things have to be ordered, from across seas. And sometimes I don't trust that, as y'all will know. Now, the medicinal properties are 0. There are none. This is not to be taken internally. In fact, if you ever do use it, wear gloves. Okay? And make sure you don't use it anywhere your children could be around. I'm telling you, it's very, very poisonous. I don't even recommend you using it unless you're a seasoned witch, and know what you're doing, because anything can happen. And I have to say that because I don't want none of my people hurt. Okay, now our next one, of course, is another very, very, very poisonous herb, and that's hen's bane. The folk name, of course, is black nightshade, or it's also been called the devil's eye. It's used in love potions. Now, I don't know why that would be used in a love potion. Rainmaking, and of course, a hallucinogen. That was one of the main ingredients used in the flying ornaments that the elder witches, our ancient ancestors used. It was usually, let me think, wolf's bane, hen's bane, and I believe belladonna. Deadly nightshade, yeah, belladonna. And honestly, there is no other use for it except in something like that or baneful magic. In the elder days, the witches would put it on the fire and breathe it in. They didn't ingest it. They didn't put it on their skin as an ointment per se. They would breathe in the smoke from the fire. But they thought it might be a cure for a toothache. Well, of course, if your brain's on acid, which is pretty much what you're doing whenever you do this, you're not going to feel anything, I implore you, do not use this internally. Do not mess with it unless you know or you consult with a more experienced witch. This is not an herb. Hemlock or hen's bane, the two I've just talked about, do not mess with them unless you know what you're doing. Because I'm telling you, these things can kill you. Okay? I'm very serious about that. I'm not playing. That's why I don't bring them out. I don't even touch them unless I'm going to use them. And when I do, I have gloves on. Sometimes, like if I'm messing with wolfsbane, it is so flighty. It's like messing with cobwebs to me. And if any kind of air is blowing, anything like that, it may get underneath your fingernails. A piece of it might come up in your eyeball, and just one little tiny bit of it can make you very, very sick. So that's what I stress, especially at the beginning of my videos when I told y'all learn your herbs. Because there's a lot of them that can kill you. Literally kill you. And I don't want that happening. Okay. I'm going to go and I'll get 3 more and I'll come back. See ya in just a minute.